Greetings, citizens of the world. We are Anonymous Red Cult. First of all, as most of you that know us, we use nothing but facts supported by proofs in our research and video messages. And now, Operation Thump continues, as we exposed and made it clear in our last video, OpThump Exposing the cult behind the mask, the relation between the fake anonymous platforms, and the Humanity Party and its videos, and the man behind it, Christopher Marc Nemelka. Let's take a final look of who is the owner of the Humanity Party. At the United States Patent and Trademark Office, trademark the Humanity Party, mark owner information owning party type, original registrant, owner name, Nemelka, Christopher M, legal entity type, individual, address, 224 Garden Park Drive, Orem, Utah 84057. That should be enough. Now let's move on, exposing the man behind the cult. Let's start with a book called The Sealed Portion, the Final Testament of Jesus Christ, a book written by Christopher Marc Nemelka himself. He liked to use the word translated, but we don't think so. Anyway, the book can be found on one of Nemelka's sites, also on one of his YouTube channels. Yes, actually we have read all the books on his site, but we will just talk about one today. Don't worry, we won't read the whole book for you. We have read the whole 655 pages, and we picked few parts that we found interesting. We think you will also. Even there is a lot more. The way Nemelka introduced and described himself in the book using many descriptions, one of them as the prophet of God, and what the book is about. Remember the words you're about to hear coming from a man who claims to be anonymous. Not just that, but the official and only voice of Anonymous, and trying to promote for his own political party using the name Anonymous, trying to hijack and replace Anonymous idea with his cult ideas, a cult that he leads. Anyway, you be the judge of that, if it's a cult or not. Let's start with his book, using his own words, so we will be quoting him. First from the book about, quote, The Sealed Portion, the Final Testament of Jesus Christ, is the sealed part of the gold plates, from which the Book of Mormon was translated, and published in 1830. If one does not accept the Book of Mormon for what it claims to be, then it is likely that one will not accept the sealed portion for what it is, and therefore, this book is not where one should start his or her search for truth in this marvelous work, and no wonder. End of quote. And he continues, quote, The Bible was created by man, who, throughout history, wanted to present a philosophical idea of our relationship with the God as our creator. The Bible has been a cause of much war and misery since its inception. Most of the world's misery is caused by those who are misled by the Bible's teachings, and also by those who interpret and teach their followers that it is the ultimate word of God. It is not the word of God, it is the word of man. To counter the Bible without alienating those who believe in it, advanced humans interceded and prepared a Book of Mormon. However, the Book of Mormon does not contain even 100th part of the things which Jesus did truly teach unto the people. See Bomb 3 Nephi 26:6. End of quote. And he continues, quote, The sealed portion contains these greater things, end of quote. The rest you can read on the site. So his call is not even for the Mormon beliefs, but for religion that he made up, and wrote up a book for it, and is declaring that his book contains the original and all teachings of Jesus Christ, a book that he wrote, Christopher Marc Nemelka, and appointed himself in it as the prophet of God. So let's take a look inside the book. Quote, The Sealed Portion of the Book of Mormon, the Final Testament of Jesus Christ. Text and cover design copyright 2008 http://www.united.org Worldwide United Foundation Organization, Inc. WAF. End of quote. So who is the Worldwide United Foundation Organization?
Hello, my name is Christopher, and I'm the founder of the Worldwide United Foundation.
Of course. So we go to domaintools.com to make sure. Domain name, www.united.org. Registrant name, Christopher Nemelka. Yes, another cover for Nemelka's cult. Anyway, back to the book. In chapter 67, page 413 we read, quote, 85, And in the meridian of the half of times, shall this final prophet be called forth to establish the truth of the first and take away all the stumbling blocks that have been put in place by the Lord because of the wickedness of man. And he shall be called Christopher, being a bearer of Christ, and shall be he who shall bring forth this record unto you. 86 And this record shall be the final written revelation given by the Father to prepare the world for the coming of Christ, in the glory of the Father. End of quote. And in chapter 79 page 462, we read, quote, "The Americas are discovered and conquered in wickedness. The American Revolution was fought under the influence of Satan to reward the rich. The Gentiles shall receive the beginnings of the fullness of the gospel through Joseph Smith. The Gentiles shall be smitten because of their rejection of the gospel in the Book of Mormon. The work of the gathering shall commence with the work of Christopher Nemelka in the coming forth of the sealed portion." End of quote. In chapter 80 page 466 we read, quote, 76 And now, ye of the latter days know that these things did not come to pass in the days of this first latter-day prophet, but these things shall come to pass during the days of this second prophet of God, even the bearer of Christ, who shall be known among you as Christopher. End of quote. And in chapter 81 page 469 we read, quote, "The life and mission of Joseph Smith, the rise and fall of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The church splits into two factions, according to Satan's desires. The three Nephites are introduced and will aid Joseph and Christopher in their missions. Christopher will have the power to confound those who mock the word of God." End of quote. In chapter 83 page 479 we read, quote, "Satan uses truth to deceive. The members of the LDS Church live the word of wisdom in hypocrisy. The lost 116-page manuscript is discussed. Christopher brings it again to the world, in the latter days to prove the veracity of the sealed portion. Moroni testifies of the mission of Joseph Smith and Christopher Marc Nemelka. The desire of wealth and not taking care of the poor and needy are sure signs that a person is following the plan of Lucifer. The mentally handicapped are given as examples by the Father." End of quote. Also in chapter 83 page 483 we read, quote, 57 For by the means of your science, ye shall know that it was indeed written by the hand of the scribe of Joseph in his day. 58 And it shall come to pass that ye shall have the translation of these same things given unto you by Christopher, having been commanded by the Lord to bring these things forth again unto the world along with the translation that he. End of quote. In chapter 83 page 484 we read, quote, 67 And the second shall be Christopher, a bearer of Christ, who shall give unto you the translation of the sealed portion of this record, and he shall also give unto you only those things which the Lord shall command him. End of quote. Same page, chapter 83 page 484 we read, quote, 69 And in the latter days Christopher shall be born into this great church of which I have spoken, and he shall be raised up and given the experiences that are necessary for him to accomplish those things which the Lord shall require of him. End of quote. In chapter 87 page 509 we read, quote, 86 And those of you who live upon the earth at the time of the last of these two latter-day prophets, even at the time that Christopher shall be upon the earth, yea, seek him out and know him, and he shall tell you if ye are wicked or if ye are righteous by the words which he shall speak unto you. End of quote. In chapter 91 page 528 we read, quote, 63 And at the time that he shall call together all those who have been called to the office of a prophet, there shall only be one of them, who hath been called of God to perform the labors of a prophet of God, left upon the earth. 64 And this shall be Christopher, the last of the two latter-day prophets that shall be among. End of quote. In chapter 95 page 550 we read, quote, 34 And Joseph and Christopher, who are the last prophets who shall be among you upon the earth before the coming of the Lord, what do ye think they learned in these institutions? End of quote. So these quotes were from a book Nemelka wrote as the foundations of his new cult, his own holy book. There is a lot more, but for the sake of time and so we won't bore you, we used just a few quotes. If you would like to look up and read more, you can download the whole book and see for yourself. Again, in this video we used nothing but Christopher Marc Nemelka's own words, to show you who is really are and what he planning to do, and his real ideas and call, and it's far from what the Humanity Party claiming they are, just to gain your trust and start their own agenda, an agenda of a religious cult. But what religion? One made and created by the man called Christopher Marc Nemelka and appointed himself as a prophet, a spiritual leader, a cult leader to be exact, and now claiming to be the leader and official voice of Anonymous. Once using the Worldwide United Foundation organization, and the Humanity Party, and the so-called Anonymous Party, all covers for a cult. Let's add just a part of one of his YouTube videos called C.L.E.A.R. by a true messenger, Moroni chapter 7.
C.L.E.A.R. Clear light and truth, that is eternally the same and answers all questions with all religious rhetoric, removed by a true messenger. Excerpt from the Book of Mormon, another testament of Jesus Christ. Moroni chapter 7 was made clear by Christopher on May 12, 2016 in his daily journal post found at. And now I, Christopher, speak unto you, my beloved fellow humans, and it is by the grace of your true selves, as wonderful advanced life forms and your holy will, because of the gift of your calling unto me, that I'm permitted to speak unto you at this time.
But now he removed and edited some of the content used on his website, removed religious cult words to make it more convenient for a Humanity Party / Anonymous Party video. At this point, not much more to add. We think we did our job and exposed the whole thing with our videos. As always, all the links you'll find in the video description. If they will be stupid enough to delete the book link, we will add a download link to the description. Nemelka, you have been exposed, uncovered, and bared, united as one, divided by zero. We are Anonymous Red Cult. We are Legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Nemelka, you should have expected us.